tutorial, we are going to take a look at Google Sites, and we will look at how to create a new site, how to add elements to the site, and how to publish it. So to get started, we are going to create a new Google site, and we can do this one of two ways. We can go to our Google Drive and click that new button and create a new site that way. All of the sites that you create can be found on your Google Drive, or we can go to sites.google.com, and then we can click to create a new blank website. Notice there are some different templates here too that we could choose from and then put our own information in. But when we go to sites.google.com, this is where we can see all of our previous made sites that have been shared with us as a collaborator. And again, we can create a new site, or we can pick from a template. We're going to create just a blank site here for our demo today. Once we open this blank site, what I like to do right away is to name the site. So in the top left-hand corner next to the Google site icon, this is how we will be able to search for our website on our Google Drive, and if we go to sites.google.com. So for today's demo, I'm making a website all about a book I read called The Great Gatsby. All right, so once we have that title up there, it will copy it here for us. We can change that later. But I like to start with our menu on the right-hand side. So you'll see that Google Sites is a kind of a what you see is what you get website design. You don't have to know any coding to make a website. It's just click right in, start adding elements. And then you have this toolbar here on the right-hand side that's going to help you add and change your website. So we're going to start on the far right-hand corner on this menu and then work our way in. So we're going to start with themes. Google Sites keeps it pretty simple. So you'll see that there is a selection here of 6 different themes that you can choose from. You can change your themes at any time. When you click on the theme, it automatically updates your site. And then you'll see you have choice of accent colors and also font styles. I will show you how you can kind of customize your own banner. But remember, the thought process behind this is to keep it simple so that your website can be very easily accessible and viewed, whether someone's viewing it on a cell phone, on a tablet, or on a computer screen. So you're going to go ahead and make those selections there. Again, you can go back and change it at any time, but this is our theme tab. Now we're going to move over to pages. So pages allow us to create different sections to our website. Any website that you've been to, most of them have more than one page. So your home page is your landing page, and then the content of the website, just like an essay, is broken into different sections. You want to be very thoughtful when you are creating your pages. You don't want people to have to click too much to get to content or information. So just be mindful. Can those pages combine into one page? Should a page be a subpage? These are just things to think of as you're creating pages on here. We're going to go ahead and create a couple pages here. To create a page, you're just going to take your cursor and you're going to go down to the bottom right middle where you'll see to create a new page. Now notice as you hover over, you have 2 options. You can create a new internal page, or you can create a new link. A new link's going to jump you out to a website that is external from your own website. So in this case, maybe I want to link to a resource about The Great Gatsby. So I could do that by clicking the external link here. And then I'm going to go ahead and give it a name and put the link right in here. Okay, so I'm linking to just a page that is more info about The Great Gatsby. So I'm just going to click done there, and it's going to add that right up here to my navigation. Now I'm ready to add more pages in here. So when thinking about creating a website all about The Great Gatsby, maybe I want to have one about characters, a page about characters on here, page about plot. Maybe I want to do a themes. All right, you get the idea here. Now, as you build out your pages and you hover over them on this Pages tab in the menu, you have 3 stacked dots. So if I mess up and want to rename it or delete it or duplicate it, those 3 stacked dots next to it are going to give you that option. I can also hold down on any of these. So I'm just pressing down with my cursor, and you're going to notice that I can move them to rearrange them. So as I'm moving, let's say I want to put these in a different order. I want plot to come first. I'm just grabbing down on plot. If I release it with the square around selecting characters, it's going to make it a subpage of characters. So let me show you what that looks like. So that would make a subpage. That doesn't really make sense for what we're doing. So I'm going to grab it again, and I'm going to just move it to where it's aligned, and that will put it in a different order. And the great thing about Google Sites is it's doing all that work for us. We don't have to do any coding to create our menu. It just automatically updates with those pages. Now, if I do want to create a sub page, maybe I want to divide characters because I have a lot of information about characters into more than one page. I can do that in one of two ways. I showed you how you can make a new page, grab it and drop it, or I can hover over characters, click the 3 stacked dots, and then add a sub page to it. So maybe I want to say minor characters will go on its own sub page. I click done. It makes that for me. Now notice in the navigation when I hover over, now there's a minor characters page. The only thing else I want to quickly mention on here, and this is something a little bit more advanced that you can do, you have the ability to hide pages. So if you click the 3 stacked dots, you can hide it from navigation. You may want to hide pages for a few reasons. One reason may be that you are updating your website, but you're not ready to release a page that you're working on. So that allows you to hide it so that people can't get to it. The other reason you may want to do this, and I'm going to jump over to a different Google site to show you what this looks like, is if you have quite a few pages that you want about a certain topic. So let me jump to this Google page, for example. So you'll see here that we have a bunch of different topics around Google, and these are all different separate pages. Notice when you press Google here on the menu, it doesn't have a subpage popping up for calendar, drive, keep, sites, etc. That's because those are hidden. So let me hit the pencil button to go into edit mode to show you what that looks like. So this would allow you to create a bunch of additional pages that are hidden. And then on one of your pages, you would create buttons that take you to those hidden pages. So again, now we're on the edit view. I'm going to pages over here, and you'll see under Google are all of those pages. And these little buttons take people to those pages. But notice that with the 3 stacked dots, they have all been hidden from navigation. So that is just a way to keep your site clean, get people where they need to go without overwhelming in the menu. Let's jump back to our site now. So we learned how you can change themes in the far right tab. When you do that, it impacts your whole site. You can make those changes to themes at any time. We're also going to look at how you can kind of do a little hack to make your own banner in a second. Over on the Pages tab, we learned how you can create new pages, either external links that jump you outside of your site or internal ones by creating a new page. We also learned that you can create sub pages and even sub pages. To do that, you can do one of two things. You can either click the 3 stacked dots over a main page and then add a sub page to it. You can even do that and add a sub page if you want to. And then if you need to make any changes to the arrangement, you can just grab any of those pages and you can move them around there. That is always under your Pages tab. So if you need to do any editing with page titles or information, you can make that change there. Now we're going to move over to the Insert menu. The Insert menu is where you're going to get all of the tools that you need to impact what's on the site. So putting that content in, changing the layout, adding images, adding things from your Google Drive. All of that is going to be on your Insert menu here on the left. So let's practice inserting some information onto our site, but I also want to go ahead and move to our home button here so we can talk about editing the home page. So let's move to home here. A couple things on our home page, and then we'll work on adding some content into our pages. The first thing that we talked about up here is just titling your site. It's really good practice so that you can find that site later. So if I leave right now and need to come back and work on it, I can get to it by going to sites.google.com, or I can go to Google Drive. Whatever I type up here does transfer up here to the top. So if I want to leave that up there, great. If I don't, I can remove it. Notice as I hover over this top left-hand corner, there is a button that allows you to add a logo. So if a logo makes sense for your website, you can click on Add a Logo. And then it's going to bring up actually all of these settings here that you can make changes to about your site. So we're just on the logo option, and here's where you can upload a logo. You can also upload a favicon. A favicon are those little icons that you see. So you notice when we're on our Google site, up here at the top, our tab has a little site icon. I have another Canva website open that has a C icon. The Google has a G icon. That's how you can upload that there. The other part of this menu as you hover over, what we were in was this navigation settings. So the navigation settings are worth taking a look at. This allows you to change from top navigation to side. So right now I have top navigation on, so all my pages are showing up across the top. But if I jump over to this other website that I created, I'm going to my preview button here at the top. It lets me preview my website. You'll notice that I have side navigation turned on. Let me move my face here over to a little bit so you can see. So you'll notice that our navigation is off to the side on this website. It really just depends on your preference. If you have a pretty long list of pages, you may want to turn on the side navigation. But keep in mind too, because we're kind of previewing it here, at any point you can preview your website by clicking this computer and phone icon here. And when you do this, it pops up a little menu at the bottom that you see here. It allows me to view my site as what it looks like on a large screen, on a tablet size, and even on a cell phone. The really cool thing about this is it lets you actually use it in that size. So I can really go through my website and see what does it look like for someone who is on their cell phone. Does it still line up correctly? How do things change and move? So that's a really cool feature about Google Sites. All right, back to our Great Gatsby site and back to our settings. So navigation, again, we can change from top to side navigation if we want. We can also make some changes to the color that's along that banner line at the top there. We can turn on the search so people could search our website for certain content or information. And then you can see there are a couple other options here that you can check out that are a little bit more advanced with our settings. All right, now that we've looked at our settings, we know how to change from top navigation to side. We can take the text on or off of here. We can add a logo. Let's talk about our banner. The cool news is we're going to learn about how to change this banner here, and you can do this on any other page. So every single page you create, you can edit what the banner looks like. The first thing that I want you to look at is when you're hovering over the banner, it says header type here. And you can change between different header types. You could have a cover, which means your entire page, when people go to it, they're pretty much going to see just this banner, whatever it is that you have on there. You can also do a large banner, a regular banner, or a title only. This is kind of your call stylistically. Typically, people have some kind of banner on their homepage so that people know that they are on the homepage. It's just kind of an indicator there. So for your main page, I would choose either a cover or a large banner. But again, if you're going for a certain style, you may choose banner or title only. On some of your sub pages, I certainly recommend doing title only or banner so that you really get into the content. People don't need that huge banner on every single page. So I'm going to stick with a large banner here. I'm going to hit my back button. So we have our header type now. Now we can go in and change an image. So a few words about how Google Site works. So Google Sites is a responsive format. What that means is if someone is on a cell phone, on a tablet, on a computer screen, Google Sites is going to react to resize everything so that it fits the space that people are viewing your website in. Why am I mentioning this right now? If you go to like, let's say Google Drawings or Canva, and you make this beautiful banner and it fits perfectly in here, just know that when people are viewing it on, let's say, a cell phone or a tablet, it could cut off some of your banner. To kind of illustrate what I mean here, I'm going to go back to this preview button here, and I want to show you something. Pay attention in this background to how much of these vertical lines we can see of this building that's in the background. Now I'm going to switch to a tablet. Now I'm going to switch to a cell phone. Do you see how on the cell phone view, we don't see even any of those lines that come together, any of those angles? It's just showing one place. So just remember that some of that background might get cut out. So what we can do in here is we can go to choose image, and we have a couple of options here to change our background. We can go to upload, or we can go to select image. I'm going to first start with select image. And what we can do in here is pick from either a gallery, that's where it's going to go to by default. So Google has some preloaded images in here that we could grab and use. We can also, if we have a website where the image is hosted, we could search for it there. Our Google Drive, if we have something created, or we can just do a straight up search. So if I just want to search for, 1920s wallpaper maybe, or banner or pattern, I can switch in here and go and find something that I think will work. So if I want to go in here and just grab, let's say this guy, okay, I'm going to go ahead and click select, and then it's going to put that in the background there. It's also going to adjust right away for readability. So it's going to make a darker background so where the text will be light in front of it. I can also turn that off there. So you notice my text isn't easy to read. Here is a little helpful hint for you. So I could just find a background, change my text, and be done. But if you want to make this more of a special place where you're creating, here's a tip for you. You can go out to the web and search for a background that you want to use. So I went in ahead of time and I found some 1920s Art Deco wallpaper. So I'm going to go here to change image. Let me move over here. change image, upload, and this is just one that I found. So you could pull it from your drive if you saved it. So here is our wallpaper, and I'm going to click open on here. So great, I have this great 1920s wallpaper, which you like, but I don't like the font on here. So, you know, maybe I want to change this. So I could, right, type in here, but maybe I want a different font. So here's a little trick for you. We're going to go out to a new tab, and we're going to go to Google Drawings. So I'm just going to go to drawings.google.com. You can go to your Google Drive and click new and make a new drawing that way as well. So your Google Drawings save on your Google Drive. Think about Google Drawings as a little bit, if you've ever used Microsoft Paint, it is a blank surface that you can create in. So on here, I'm going to make this area just a little smaller. So I'm going to drag it up, and I'm just going to eyeball it. When I look at my Google site here, and I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this text box they have there, because I'm going to insert an image that's of the text right over it. So I'm going to imagine here that this is my workspace, and I can just kind of eyeball the shape that I need. When I'm on my Google Drawing, if I go to view, zoom, and view 100%, I can see that this size is going to fit pretty well, and I can make it smaller onto my banner. So I'm just making a rectangle shape here. Then I'm going to take my text box, and I'm going to draw it inside of the shape so I have place to type. And this is where I'm going to type The Great Gatsby. Now I'm going to play around with the text. So I'm going to start by just increasing the size, and I can just type in here. Let's just jump to 60. Let's see where you are. Let's go to 100 in here. Right, then I'm going to go ahead and use my center align. I'm also going to align it top to bottom. Now I'm going to go into my fonts. Do you know that you can go to more fonts and you can find even more fonts that you think you like? And all you do is click to add them to your font list. Just be careful. If you get too many fonts, it's going to load pretty slowly in there. So I'm going to go in here. I'm just going to use one of the fonts that I already have here. So I'm going to just try a couple. Ooh, I like that one. That one looks great. Now what I need to do is look at my site and figure out what color I need that text to be. This is clearly a dark background, so I'm going to want to go with a lighter color. So I'm actually just going to select it all, click my color, and I'm just going to go for a very light gray on here. Now I need to save this in a format to where it is going to keep that transparent background. So I'm going to call this my Gatsby banner text, so I know if I can find it later. Then I'm going to go to File, Download. This part's important. File, Download as a PNG so that it saves it in a format that I need that has that transparent background. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save on it. Now I'm ready to bring that image into my site. So I'm going to go in here. I'm on my Insert menu because remember, that's where we're going to get the tools that we need to bring content into our site. I'm going to click Upload, and then because I have it saved on my computer, I'm ready to grab that banner text and open it. Now I can take it and I can bring it right on our banner. And then I can go in here and increase the size of it and reposition it and make sure I like the way it looks. I can also click this readability button in the bottom right, so it'll do some adjustments for it on there. All right. And then if I like the way that looks, I can leave it that way. One last change I'm going to make, just because I'm noticing the contrast isn't great up here between the background and the text, I'm going to go to my little gear icon, and I'm going to change the color of that bar to black just to let it pop there so that it's easy to see the navigation. All right, now we're ready to start adding content onto our website. So I'm going to jump to my characters page. And like I mentioned earlier, every single page you have the option to change the header type. So I'm actually just going to change this one because it is a regular page to just the title only. And now I'm ready to put in information. Over here on the right, I wanted to show you, you have the option to use a layout. Layouts are helpful because it allows you to format pictures and text in a consistent way. So for this example, I'm going to be showing some main characters here, and I'm going to choose one of these layouts. Now, if I didn't want to use a layout, I can definitely customize where pictures go and where text goes, and I can kind of create my own layout of how I want my website designed. But this tool is really helpful for certain pages, and it's going to work great for what I'm doing here with characters. So I'm just going to choose one of these layouts here. And now I'm ready to use the little tools within this layout to put in my information. So I'm going to click my plus button here, and then I'm going to go in and I am going to upload an image that I have saved on my computer already for Gatsby. So maybe I'm going to bring in a picture of Gatsby here. And then I'm going to come over to my other one and I'm going to bring in another picture. And maybe I'm going to bring in a picture of Nick Carraway here. And then I can go in too and edit these pictures. So this one of Jay looks great, but this one maybe I need to go in and crop a little bit. So I'm just double clicking to crop. I'm going to move this down. Then I'm just pressing my check mark when I have it positioned like I want on here. Now I'm ready to add in my text. And then I can put Nick in here. Hopefully I'm spelling his last name correctly. All right, then I can type in my text if I want to put information about him here. And again, this is just helping me format. Now, my other option would be just to use to insert a text box, an image, or I can double click and it's going to bring this little wheel here so that I can come in and put in text. So maybe I want to put a main character section in here, and I can edit the text and put information in here. So again, when I go to my insert menu, I can insert text boxes, images, things from my drive. If I have an embed code, I can put it in here. These layouts are going to help me if I want to use some standard layouts. They give me places to put pictures and or text. And then I have even more options here. If I want to put in collapsible text, meaning people can expand that information, table of contents. Image carousel is really awesome because you pick some pictures and it allows your audience to zip through those pictures. So to see different pictures, putting in buttons that are clickable links to other pages. Okay, and there's a bunch of different options here, including embedding some stuff from your Google Drive. So if you want to embed a map, a YouTube video, if you want to pull in a slideshow, you can use those all there. I'm going to pull though up. So you're going to notice as you're building in your site, because again, we're talking about putting content on our website. All that content is building in what's called sections. And these sections are just little different areas of information. When you build in sections, you have the option to move those sections around. So because this is my main character section, I'm actually moving it up on top of then my content about my main characters. I also, to the left of each section, can change the background color to add emphasis. These are pulling again from my theme. So that's where this accent color is coming. One thing you can also do is if you want a different accent color, you can come into image. This is just a little helpful hint here. Go to select image, and then you can search for, you can either do an image, okay, or you can search for a color. So if you're looking for a certain color, so maybe I want to type in here gold color. I can then just pull a golden background if I want to do that, select, and that will be my background there. So you can build emphasis that way as well. Next to each section, you can also duplicate a section, delete a section, but this is going to help you build content out on your site. You may also choose to put links, hyperlinks in here. So maybe if you have some resources where you got the information, you can select that text. As you're in the text box, you have the option to add a link, so you can insert a link. Those links can be external links, so they can jump you out to other pieces of information, or they can be internal, where you can jump to something inside as well. So all of those are built there also. So all of that formatting and those tools pop up as you are building in here. And again, on the right on that insert menu is where you insert the information that you're looking for. A couple of things to notice as you're building out that information. Everything is automatically saving because this is a Google tool, just like we're used to. So at the top, you're going to see that all changes are saved. If you need to undo or redo, you have those buttons there. As you are working, I strongly suggest you use this preview button. That's going to let you preview what your website looks like, again, with different sizes here, and just lets you see how everything flows and works. To leave the preview, we're just going to click the X. Now let's move on to our final bit here, and that is some of our settings for publishing and sharing. If you have a reason to add collaborators to your site, you're going to click on the plus people button, and this will allow you to add others so that they can have edit access to your site. You also have the ability to publish your site. So when you're ready to publish, you're going to click your publish button here, and then you are going to make up a unique ending to your web address. All of our websites built in our domain in Wentzville are hosted at sites.google.com/wsdr4.org/ and then you come up with a unique ending that no one else in the district has, and that's where your site is going to be hosted. Notice by default, anybody in Wentzville who has the address is going to be able to view your website. If you are a junior or a senior in Wentzville, we do have this open so you can share out of the district. So if you're building something like a portfolio and you want to share it out of district, you can do that again when you're a junior or senior. And to change that, you're just going to go to manage, and then you're going to be able to change it down here where it says links change to anybody with the link can view. So you can make that public if you're a junior or senior. So once your website is published, you're going to click publish, and then you're ready to get that publish link so that you can share out. To get the publish link, right next to this publish button now is a drop down, and you can click view publish site and then copy that link. That is the link that you'll turn into your teacher if you're creating this website for a project right there. One final note that's really important. In order for you to publish any new changes, so let's say right now I decide I don't want this minor character page, right? So I go to pages, I find the minor character page, and I click delete. In order for that change to be viewable by people who have the publish link, I need to click the publish button again. And when I do this, it's going to show me the change from last time I published to now. So I'm going to click publish again, and then those changes will be made. This is important because if you make changes after you've submitted the link, those changes are not going to be visible until you click that publish button again. So again, this was an overview of how to use Google Sites to build a website. And we talked about everything from themes to pages, putting in content, some of your settings to change the menu, how to preview, add collaborators, and how to publish. So this was an overview of how to use Google Sites.